Nearly 100 years ago, professional football was a chaotic freak show. The sport was born out of the hardscrabble factory yards and streets of America and played by strapping young men from late summer cornfields, colleges, and smog-choked inner cities. It stood absolutely no chance against baseball, America's beloved pastime.
In 1903, this was built as the first concrete stadium in America.
But if you spend some time with Upton Bell, the 1971 New England Patriots general manager, he'll tell you NFL football sprung forth from a most unlikely place, the fragrant and refined perfume countertops of Macy's department store in New York City, where his mother, Frances Upton Bell, worked part-time.
She was working there one day, and an agent for the Schubert Theaters came through and said, "You're an absolutely beautiful young woman. What do you do?" She said, "Well, I'm in high school and I'm taking ballet lessons." He said, "Here's my card." And he said, "If you're ever interested, let me know." She followed up 5 years later. She was a star on Broadway.
I only make 20. Oh, listen, Marmaduke, it can't be done.
Hey, what's the idea? Talking to a dummy, you dummy. The next thing you know, you'll be talking to yourself and walking into telegraph poles. You know that, don't you?
All right, get out of here, will you?
Frances Bell would become one of Broadway's leading performers, starring with the likes of Eddie Cantor, Fanny Brice, and Bob Hope. She starred in the Ziegfeld Follies in the Roaring Twenties, and many times caught the eye of scores of admirers, many of whom would shower dancers with gifts of jewelry and flowers in the late-night dressing rooms and smoke-filled hallways of jazz-age theater. One persistent suitor was D. Benneville Burt Bell, a man who would help make the NFL the premier multi-billion-dollar juggernaut it has become. But Upton says the NFL probably would not even exist today if it was not for his mother.
He said, "Honey, I want to date you." She said, "Have another drink. I'm not for you." He then chased her for 2 years around the country. So basically, she said, "I don't date drunks and social drunks." So he arranged for a party in Miami, or in Atlantic City, called her with all these people around and said, "Honey, I've got all my friends around here. What'll it take to get you?" And she said, "Never drinking again," thinking, this bum isn't going to be able to do this. He said, "I promise you in front of all my friends I will never have a drink again." And he never did. And I think that kind of convinced her.
Burt was living the dream. With his girl by his side, he set his sights on a career in college football. But after performing to sellout crowds nationwide, Frances had other plans.
Being on the road, Chicago, New York, all over the country, she started to see all the barnstorming teams. You had the Chicago Bears with Red Grange. They took a barnstorming team around the country. She said, "My father, why are you paying any attention to college football? The pro game is it." So she took him to his first pro game and said, "You got to really get with it." So what happened was eventually they got secretly married. Walter Winchell announced it and said that they had been secretly married when she was in Chicago. She came to Philadelphia. On their wedding day, they walked down to the bankruptcy court in Philadelphia. The Frankfurt Yellow Jackets were up for sale. They got them out of bankruptcy. Walking back, they see the Delano Roosevelt National Recovery Act, and there was a big eagle up there. This is how things really happen in life. Not all this phony crap you get today. So up there is the eagle, and he said to her, "There it is. It's the Philadelphia Eagles." And that's how it happened.
So your father essentially bought the Philadelphia Eagles with your mom's money for $2,500.
Yes, Frankfurt Yellow Jackets, and then took them out of bankruptcy, renamed them. But the best part of the story is I tell all honeymooners today that like to appear on NBC and go off to Hawaii somewhere. They decided their honeymoon would be in Ventnor, which is right next to Atlantic City. Plenty of money there. They rent a big mansion there. The only difference is this: they went on their honeymoon with 32 football players, and they live with them on their honeymoon, and they actually practice out on the front lawn of this mansion. And they had this famous scene that was quoted by people in different books, and she was very romantic. And she said, "Bert, I love the sun, the stars. This is the great night." And he turns to her, waiting for him to say, "Oh, I love you, darling." He said, "Francis, if I only had a punter." And that was, and she looked at him and said, "This is what I'm getting into?"
Yeah.
So that's how the Eagles were formed.
Burt would eventually rise from team owner of the Philadelphia Eagles and the Pittsburgh Steelers to become among the NFL's most influential commissioners.
For 60 or 70,000 people to do this for the Green Bay Packers and the city of Green Bay, it certainly should set an example.
Many football purists and current lords of the game agree. Commissioner Upton Bell's modernistic approach for this sport so long ago literally saved the game from self-destructing.
Are you spurning me for another dame, are ya?
But there was also a woman who saved Burt from himself.
Buffalo fans aren't happy. Inches to go, second down. Songen on a sneak, and he scores, making it 13 for the Patriots.
And what has now become a $10 billion a year Sunday afternoon cultural event can, in part, trace its humble roots nearly 100 years ago to a miracle on 34th Street. For ACMI News, I'm Jeff Barnes.